make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm on a different level than everybody.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to boxing, because Devin, he's a boxer.
So it's on him. You know what I mean? It's on him. He knows that he's going to get this fade sooner or later. So it's only a matter of time. Obviously, we can't go down. You know, we can't go down to 135. So, you know, he would have to come up. And, you know, he can get this work anytime. He ready.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat him with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. You know? And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man.
Shakur Stevenson is said to be preparing for a fight against Devin Haney at 140. He has agreed to the rehydration terms and stays fully convinced that his ability is above anyone he faces.
So all of these guys, if y'all want me to come to 147, I'm coming in with rehydration clause. I don't even do that. But why am I going up to these guys' weight classes if I'm not planning on going?
Devin Haney makes it clear that a fight with Shakur Stevenson is going to happen as he shows strong determination and proves he is fully committed to making this matchup a reality.
Course still at 135. You can't, you know, say your name without saying Shakur, Teofimo, Tank, right? It just is what it is. Is that fight going to ever happen? Would it ever happen against you and Shakur?
100%, yeah. I think so. I think
you think Shakur will grow into whatever weight you're in?
I mean, all of us is close to the same size. You know, we're all growing together. We're all like, you know, getting bigger. So, and it's only so many guys, like y'all said, it's only so many guys that we could make big money and people want to see the fights, which even though I know that they making new guys, it's guys like Kermel, Abdullah, all these guys want to come up too. So eventually they gonna be there too. But, I think that a fight with Shakur is very much possible. We try to make it happen.
Shakur Stevenson states that he has no fear of Devin Haney, but suggests that Haney's team could wrongly push the idea that he is deliberately staying away from the matchup.
Devin Haney.
Okay.
Devin Haney's probably, to me, I don't think it's hit its point yet, but I think in the next year or two, it'll hit a point where it's like the world is going to demand, you know what I'm saying? I can see the trajectory feels like it could meet like that.
I would love this fight. But look, you gotta watch what you say with like, and this is not even Devin fault, because Devin is very respectful of my game and I'm respectful of his game. He's a good fighter. But his fans will clip and twist and turn things into something that is not. So I try to be real careful on what I say.
True. This is guy Jay on Twitter. He a big Haney fan. He be always clipping and changing stuff, Jay.
Yeah, they gonna make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no.
Shakur Stevenson feels he operates at a higher standard than everyone else, confident that no opponent can beat him and certain that Devin lacks the power to stop him.
Like he's a fucking stone cold killer who's just gonna go in there and try to knock me the fuck out.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to outbox me. I'm the greatest boxer. How do you... So that's how I feel about the fight.
Yeah.
But it all gotta make sense from a business standpoint. I don't like getting up here and negotiating against myself. And,
for sure.
But for me, I'm willing to make the fight.
But do you see it as it being that could, you know, like we always said, the Four Kings, even though you wasn't a part of it, the whole thing, the whole plot is like at the end of the road, there's gonna be two guys left standing, and that's the big fight. Do you see that as that's potentially what that could be?
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Devin Haney is focused on proving who he really is by pushing for fights against elite names like Shakur Stevenson to define his place at the top.
Those fights are not possible. Would you be more inclined just to move up to 140?
Yeah, if I can't get those fights next, or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out, see how I feel at the weight at 140, and then when the time is right, then I'll defend my belt at 135. We'll just see though. I got to go back and talk with the team and see what makes the most sense. That's really all it.
Bill Haney says they won't come down in weight, so anyone wanting a fight must move up to 140.
Why he didn't become undisputed yet. They didn't mention the franchise belt, which directly impacted Devin's career early on, right? And it seemed like, I was saying this on my live earlier, you tell me what you think about this, but it seems to me like there's a lot of people that have tried to block y'all ambition, right? Between you signed to the wrong company, Loma not taking the Devin fight, Tio not taking the Devin fight, Rolly saying he just don't want to fight Devin. Do you see that? Like, how do you see that? As far as like, people know you're ambitious, they know you want to be unified, they know you want to be undisputed. So they put all these obstacles up and they make it hard for you to achieve what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. I think it's been historic in the way that they've done.
Bill Haney states that they will not move down or wait, and makes it clear that anyone who wants to fight has to step up to 140.
So we must keep our composure and our patience and understand that it's part of the process when you're that good. You know what I mean? We can't say it any other way. They're running out of narratives. You know what I'm saying? And, it's what the people want to see. We don't never say, okay, well, this guy has done something wrong or he did bad business. So, we'll never do it. Obviously, when we go through negotiations and we spend time in there, whether it's put something together for Richard Hitchinson, for him to come back later and to say, I want that fight. Well, when we were trying to make the fight, we couldn't. You didn't want to negotiate. You went somewhere else. When we were negotiating with Shakur Stevenson, instead of him negotiating with us, he said that he's going to go somewhere.
He also says the fight can take place whenever the opponent decides they are prepared.
But I feel like Shakur, just like Crawford was with me, Shakur has the ability to pass Terence Crawford. Listen up. Now, not in the stance of becoming 3-time undisputed and, going up to, that many weight classes. Not from that standpoint. He already has 4 weight classes. Crawford is a 5-weight division champion. But in a sense of having the opportunities that Crawford didn't have. Crawford would have been even bigger than what he is if the politics didn't play into the sport at the time. And now that, you have guys like Turki Al-Sheikh that are able to bridge that gap between promoters and, make these big fights happen.
Tim Bradley believes Shakur Stevenson has the potential to reach heights even beyond Terence Crawford in boxing history. Crawford is unquestionably a legend, a 5-division champion with an extraordinary record. Yet, Bradley sees Stevenson as having similar talent and skill that could take him even further. He emphasizes this isn't about matching Crawford's multiple undisputed titles or moving across weight classes, but rather about the opportunities Crawford didn't have because of the sport's politics at the time. Bradley explains that if figures like Turki Al-Sheikh had been involved during Crawford's career, they could have connected promoters and made big fights against names like Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, and Dennis Ugas happen sooner, further elevating Crawford's legacy.
Turki was around when Crawford was on his climb. When Crawford couldn't get those big fights with like Thurman and Danny Garcia and Ugas and, he got it later with Sean Porter, but it was later. But imagine if Crawford was able to have that run and, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Ugas, Keith Thurman, the list goes on. If he would have had all those guys on his ledger, imagine how big Crawford would be. He would be even bigger than what he is today. Bigger than what he is today. So with that being said, with these fighters hovering around 135, these talented fighters hovering around 135, 130, Guys like, Oshaki Foster, like I mentioned, going to go up to 135. He's big enough to go to 135.
With this in mind, Shakur is stepping into a period where elite fighters between 130 and 135 pounds are more accessible, giving him the chance to regularly face top-level competition. Potential opponents include Devin Haney, Lamont Roach, Oshaki Foster, Gary Russell Jr., Dalton Smith, Brian Garcia, and more. Bradley highlights that Shakur not only has the talent to challenge these fighters, but also the opportunity to beat them, strengthening his legacy and potentially surpassing Crawford in both impact and accomplishments.
Haney going to concede to that? I doubt it. So there's a major obstacle in the way. But nonetheless, as you watch these two fighters fight, you can clearly see, outside of cheating, they're more than likely not going to lose, right? With that said, Devin Haney immediately responds to Shakur. Shakur responds to Devin, right? Again, we had the initial four kings. It was Devin, Ryan, Teo, and Tank Davis, right? It was supposed to be the Four Kings 2.0, from the Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearn, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran.
A significant challenge exists, but watching these two in action shows that, aside from foul play, they're both extremely tough to beat. In the meantime, Devin Haney quickly responds to Shakur, and Shakur fires back, showcasing the competitive exchange between elite fighters. Early discussions even mentioned a For Kings 2.0 lineup with Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and Gervonta Davis, drawing comparisons to the iconic era of Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Roberto Duran.
We had that Four King era, but nobody mentions Wilfred Benitez. And the fact remains is Wilfred Benitez beat Roberto Duran as well. And Roberto Duran is 1-4 against those guys. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. Outside of that, Roberto Duran, he lost to he quit against Sugar Ray Leonard. He got knocked out brutally by Tommy Hearns. He got outboxed by Marvin Hagler and outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Right? But he's overshadowing Wilfred Benitez. And I felt like these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, and Teo, overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. And now Shakur Stevenson has shined the light by dominating Teofimo Lopez.
Interestingly, Wilfred Benitez, often forgotten in discussions of that era, managed to defeat Roberto Duran, who struggled against several of the original Four Kings. Duran only beat Sugar Ray Leonard once, was decisively knocked out by Hearns, outmatched by Hagler, and also lost to Benitez. Despite these feats, Benitez remains largely overlooked. In a similar way, fighters like Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, and Teofimo Lopez have often overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. Yet, Stevenson has started to stand out, especially after his dominant performance against Teofimo Lopez. Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis's legal troubles and hesitancy to fight further emphasize the challenges and opportunities shaping modern boxing today.
After the fight, Conor Benn comes into the ring. They talk, have some words, but Shakur Stevenson said, I want to put that same rehydration clause you put on Chris Eubank. Tell me, what did you get out of that moment in the ring?
Well, I heard on the press conference where I think it was his manager said that, that was a clown move, but I think Shakur invited that, I don't even know if I would have said all that about Conor being right then, but I think he really wants that fight. He really wants the money for the fight. He been saying that, and now he came through victorious. I think he really wants that money for that fight. He wants the money for
Bernie Thawboxer shared his thoughts on the Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney matchup, focusing on the achievements and legacies of both fighters. Stevenson has become a 4-division world champion, a 2-time lineal champion, and a 2-time Ring Magazine title holder. He also earned 2 unified titles at 130 pounds, defeating top-level opponents like Teofimo Lopez, who consistently performs at the highest level.
Legacy fights, accomplishments, because now Shakur is a 4-weight world champion. Devin is a 3-weight world champion. Devin was undisputed, but now Shakur is a 2-time lineal champion. So he's a 2-time Ring Magazine winner. 2-time unified champion. If you want to add the ring, as far as with the WBO, he was unified at 130. So he's a 2-time unified champion, 2-time lineal champion. Beat a guy like Teofimo Lopez, who rises to the occasion. Had a close fight with George Kambosos. You can make a claim that he was fighting out of frustration or out of emotion. And that was it. He was in his prime too. Josh Taylor seemed to be drained at 140. Not taking away from Devin, but he was already moving up to 47, they were saying. Lomachenko was a little older and small.
Devin Haney, on the other hand, is a 3-division world champion and was once undisputed. Bernie stresses that if Shakur wants to take on Haney, he should do it decisively. Facing Haney at his peak would eliminate any excuses and guarantee that Shakur earns full recognition for a historic accomplishment. Bernie points out that both are elite fighters, but beating Haney in his prime would further solidify Shakur Stevenson's legacy, showcasing his skill, determination, and status as a top fighter of his generation.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat him with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man. He did everything right, man.
A lot of people thought it would be a tough fight because Teo's athletic, Teo's experienced, he's fought on a high level. And, they were critical of Shakur. He ain't fought nobody and this and that.
Yeah.
He made Teo look like everybody else.
Made him look like an amateur. Man, he looked like an amateur. Yes.
Now, technically, what did you see? Right? Where did Teo go wrong in that fight?
Where he went wrong?
Yeah.
Fighting Shakur. That's where he went wrong. Fighting Shakur. I knew he just running his mouth. He just was talking, man. I knew that from the beginning, even to